Hello everyone, and today's Star Wars lore episode is on the Imperial Star Destroyer. In order to enforce the will of Emperor Palpatine across the galactic reaches, the Imperial Starfleet required a vessel of unprecedented size and power. Such a starship will be capable of subduing cities, perhaps even entire continents and whole worlds, without the deployment of a massive fleet. Fortunately for the Imperial Navy, such a ship already existed. Built in small numbers from the opening year of the Clone Wars, the Imperator class Star Destroyer was a replacement for the rather rushed Victory class model. Designed by Lyra Blessix, daughter of Walex Blessix, who created the Victory class, amongst others, the Imperator class showed early promise and was quickly decided on as the Star Destroyer of choice for the Empire. This was in no small measure because of its earlier limited deployment. It didn't have the association with the Republic that the Venator class ship had. Production of the Republic's warships ceased, and co-out drive yards went into full production of the renamed Imperial 1 class Star Destroyer. By the fall of the Empire, it was estimated that well over 25,000 such Star Destroyers had been constructed and put into service, along with many thousands of Imperial 2 class ships. The even more powerful successor to the Imperial 1 class that started its service a little before the Battle of Yavin. Over half of this massive fleet remained in constant reserve in the Imperial core systems, actively defending the Empire's strategic and military assets. Each sector of the Imperial sphere was typically assigned a sector group of 24 Star Destroyers, maintaining the Emperor's rule through the threat of military force. To defend itself, the Imperial Star Destroyer sported a tough hull built from titanium reinforced Lu steel. A pair of co-out drive yards ISD-72X shield generators were housed inside two spherical domes on the dorsal surface of the ship's bridge tower. Although these easily targeted spheres were obvious to any attacker, starfighters intent on bringing these shields down first had to overcome the Star Destroyer's formidable weapons array. The primary offensive systems were a series of 60 Tamenbach XX-9 turbolaser emplacements dotted around the dorsal and ventral hull of the ship. These guns were supplemented with an equal number of Borstal NK-7 ion cannons which could neutralize the target vessel without destroying it. Numerous other turbolaser and ion cannon variants supplemented this already terrifying destructive power. While the vessel's primary function was ship-to-ship warfare with other capital craft, the turbolasers were equipped with a Lagrange computer-assisted targeting system for use against smaller starfighters. The distinctive dome shape on the ventral hull, constructed from an alloy of durasteel and carbonite, housed the ship's powerful Sienna flight system IA-2B solar ionization reactor. The Starlight core provided ample energy for all the vessel's systems, as well as a sizable reserve. The offensive tactical power of an Imperial Star Destroyer was incredible, and it is clear to see why the appearance of such vessels was universally feared throughout known space. A formidable fighting force on its own, the Imperial class Star Destroyer also maintained a veritable armada of support ships and a battle-ready army of stormtroopers. For planet-side operations, a contingent of 9,700 ground troops could be disembarked from the ship via 12 armed landing barges, along with 20 AT-AT walkers and 30 AT-ST scout walkers. A contingent of hyperdrive-capable deep space probes with a Raked Viper probots was also available to the command crew. With an alternative arrangement of material and equipment, the Imperial-class Star Destroyer could deploy a prefabricated modular garrison complex with a complement of 800 troops. In auxiliary bays, a Star Destroyer could carry an additional 3,600 metric tons of cargo. And any opponents that were unfortunate enough to be knocked out by the ion cannons were frequently taken into one of the Star Destroyer's docking bays, which could accommodate ships up to 150 meters in length. Captured ships are drawn in by the 10 pylon Q7 tractor beam projectors arranged on the outer hull. And then when it comes to the ship's launching bays, the ship's two launching bays were actually used to deploy support craft for ground operations such as Walker transport barges, Gamma class assault shuttles and transport stormtrooper dropships. The secondary bay could also deploy TIE fighters if the primary bay was out of action, so it had 2 launch bays. And the distinctive hexagonal command tower of the Imperial Star Destroyer provided its commanding officer with an unrestricted view of the ship all the way down to its prow, and housed the main bridge and command center. The main computer controls were also placed here, under the protection of the twin ISD-72X shield generators. Imperial-class Star Destroyers were 1,600 meters long, and the enormous size of later superweapons such as the Death Star dwarfed the Star Destroyers, which could quite often make it easy to forget just how big the Imperial Star Destroyers actually were. They required a full crew of 37,085 life forms, comprising 27,850 enlisted men, 9,235 commissioned officers, and just 275 personnel were required just to act as gunners for the ship's score of turbolaser batteries. And to run the ship at even minimum capacity, a skeleton crew of around 5,000 was required. And they also carried a full wing of TIE craft, which was about 6 squadrons of 12. So you got 12, 21, 36, 48. So about 70 starfighters they carried in their hangar bay, which were comprised of TIE fighters, TIE interceptors, and TIE bombers. Other craft on board included 8 Lambda-class shuttles, skip-ray blast boats, Gamma-class assault shuttles, and Sentinel-class stormtrooper transports and assault gunboats. And there you have it. That is pretty much some of the history and specifications behind these behemoth, essentially battleships in the Star Wars universe. So if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and to keep up to date with my latest videos. Let me know what you thought of the video as well if you want to, and I'll talk to you all on the next one. Later.